Amit. I'm the academic head of Career Revenues, and with me I've got two important personalities for a discussion. Meet Usma. She is one of our faculty members, and she will give a quick introduction to herself. And between the two of us is one of our students, and she's going to share her experience with regard to preparing for the GATE and the kind of achievement that she has got. So, Usma, if you could just give a quick introduction.
Hello everyone, I am Usma Khan. I am an architect. I did my Masters in Conservation from School of Planning and Architecture, Bhopal in 2016. And I've been teaching from past few years, juggling between conservation projects and my own freelance projects. So recently I joined careeravenues as a faculty, and I'll be teaching a few of the subjects over here.
Thanks, Usma. So now we get over to Bhairavi, and she will give the introduction about the achievement that she has had and her experience and her educational background as well.
Hello, this is Bhairavi. I have scored AR3 for Gatearchitecture 2023. I am from Sir JJ College of Architecture, passed out in 2019, and this is my second attempt for GATE.
So you said that this is your second attempt to GATE. How was your first attempt, and when was it? Was it immediately before that one?
So my first attempt was in 2022. That time I actually started preparing only 1 month prior to it, and I had not taken any, not joined any classes or anything, or not taken any mock tests. That was the mistake. I didn't take any mock tests, which is very important. You have to have practice before going for GATE exam. You need to know how the paper will be, how difficult it will be, or how you have to face the paper basically. So it is important to take mock tests and everything. So last year I had just given it for an experience, and I wasn't really prepared well. So this time I prepared for the whole year, and I made sure most of my concepts were clear and everything. And before going, I had taken proper mock tests, enough of paper, exams, quizzes, and everything before appearing. So that was my basic strategy.
So you mentioned that you prepared for 1 year.
Yes.
Now, honestly, does GATE architecture require 1 year of preparation?
No, not really. You can achieve it in 2-3 months. 1 year, when I say, it is not a full time preparation. It is for I was working also with that. So giving only 1 to 2 hours also daily, that is also okay. And the last 2-3 months, even 2 months if you go properly, it is more than enough to achieve GATE. Have a good rank, under 100 and everything. So it is more than enough for them. But you have to just be basic, and you need to know what is important.
So I think this is a key theme which has been running across all my discussions with various students, that whether they have started early or they have started in the last 3, 4 or 5 months, that the last 2 months is when they really have stepped up in their preparation. And a couple of other things that I did notice was everybody got their concepts to a large extent in place before that itself.
Yes.
You cannot be working on concepts towards
No,
the end.
you can't learn any new concept in last 2 3. You have to just keep practicing. For having your concept clear and everything, you have to have it you have to do it before. That is why I said doing that 1 to 2 months, just daily 1 to 2 hours. Having your concepts clear, just knowing what you're doing, having the knowledge, reading your theory and everything. It helps.
Okay. So let's talk about the last couple of months that you did prepare, and you were using the mock tests here of Career Revenues, and the scores that I remember, they were consistent. They did not go up significantly, they did not come down significantly. The lowest score, which was just for a one-off test, was around 38 or something, but otherwise all the scores were in the range of between 50 to 60.
Yes.
What happened? How did that happen?
So the mock test which were given by Career Avenue, though the difficulty level is very high, proper good amount of difficulty, it helps. It makes you run your brain. Why are you doing it? How is this question asked? You've not studied it. When I was preparing, it was some of the topics were new for me. Yeah, even this could be done this way. This part has not been asked before. So I used to go to the paper, the mock test only. Even if you go to the mock test very properly, you have so many concepts here. But I would say consistency. I had my main focus was on numericals. Then I like gate portion is very vast. You can't cover up everything even if you want. So you need to know which topics you're very good at. So those topics and those things, it was there. Like gate paper which you had done, it was very balanced one. So you know, like you will get so much. And then the general aptitude, which was there. I actually practiced a lot.
Tell me a little more about your general aptitude. So we had a conversation just before this, and you were mentioning general aptitude, and not too many students mention the general aptitude part. They focus on the gate part. So tell me a little more about your experience
Actually,
there.
general aptitude is 15 marks, a very easy 15 scoring marks.
Correct.
And nobody prepares for that. Actually, if you give like daily, like last 2-3 months, even if you watch like 1 to 2 hours, there are so many YouTube videos. Like there are a lot of CAT preparation going on. So there are a lot of professors who just keep posting it. So just know, like there are patterns like distant time. Then you have the clock one which comes always. Then you have the pattern. The pattern one almost all architecture people know. But these, the distance time and everything, most of them don't practice. The probability one. These are common thing and they keep repeating. The grammar, English one.
What the students say is that the syllabus of aptitude is very vast, and what is going to come in the gate is likely to be 10 questions. Most of the times it is pretty simple. So out of the 10 questions, 5 are going to be simple. So do we need to put in so much of an effort given the vast syllabus on the other 5? And what you are saying is something which echoes with me as well, wherein it is not what question finally appears in the examination. It is a thinking which you develop when you start practicing aptitude tests.
Yes.
And therefore, even if you're not, let's say, solved a particular topic and you've solved, let's say, speed and distance or time and work or probability or something, and the question which is getting asked is from some other topic, you have developed the mindset to answer aptitude questions.
True.
And that is what is most.
That is very important.
That is what is most required. So I think that's a big takeaway that we think, and I think in the last 2 years, she has been the first student from architecture who has mentioned the importance of aptitude. So I take that as a big takeaway of the entire interview that we are having with her. The second thing I would say is you're scoring consistently between 50 to 60, but you end up scoring a lot higher in the actual gate. So what is the score there? And
My score over there was 68.
68. So that was your mock number 9 of career revenues, which is an easy mock from our side.
Yes.
Okay. So did you find the architecture paper easier, or was it anything different?
I'll say moderate, because there was a lot of theory over there this time. As compared to numericals, like past so many years, there are at least 10 to 12 numericals you can see. But this time it was only 5 to 6 max, and the level was like quite easy. So that was one part where you could score. Like if you're preparing for a long time, you can't lose marks over there. It is very good if you can take, like if you can. And the theory is always unpredictable, but it was something like you can do it. There are like just say last year only there was the common one, the Pritzker prize, then the eco-sensitive zone, then biospheres of India. Those are like something which is very general knowledge. So if you revise it daily, just like go through it. You don't have to learn it. Just go through it daily, or after like at least alternate days or something. So you just know, like you don't know the name of everything. So from last year that is coming, like I've seen. So I was just preparing, and in mock also there were a lot of questions regarding that.
So I think that is something that we sensed that is likely to be the paper, so we worked around that, and thankfully it worked well for our students that we were right. But the papers being unpredictable, always you have to be prepared with different types of papers.
Yes.
And I think that's a consistent story where numericals, all the students who prepared well for numericals, this year they have done reasonably well. So if I look at my top 20 ranks, 5 or 6 of the students have told me the same story, that they have prepared strongly for the numericals, and that really helped them. So even if the number of numericals has been less overall, but the fact that they were easy pickings for you, barring a couple of questions, at least a good base was covered. So you could say that 15 to 18 marks came from numericals, 13 to 14 marks came from the aptitude portion. That was half your scores in less than 35 marks on the paper. and therefore the balance 30 came from the rest 70 marks of the paper. Great, great. So that is about her preparation. I think the next thing that we definitely need to ask her is, what are your plans after this?
Okay, so I plan to go to mostly into sustainable architecture. I am into sustainable architecture, so I want to go into green building, energy efficient consultancy programs. So I'm just planning to then explore natural materials and see what can happen.
Yeah, so what intrigued you to join all these things? Like earlier you were mentioning you had internships and exposure to different kind of workshops which helped you gain confidence that I'll be well equipped to pursue this course.
Okay, so when I was working, like when I did my internship, that time I used to do projects for residential and commercial. So most of the thing, the design or the material, even if the cities change, the materials were constant. Nobody took consideration the climatic factor or anything, which architects are trained to do. Like you are supposed to do, you are an architect.
Yeah.
So that thing, that is very, it's like most of like the industry is copy paste now. So it has to go, like if you go to see a vernacular architecture, every city has a different architecture, every city has different materials. Why? Because the climatic conditions over there are that way. Then second thing, even if you see now if when you're even sitting in this office, you put a glass facade outside, but then other than if the AC is gone off, you can't, like it is very warm over, you are not comfortable. So that has to be also taken in consideration. And now you know the climate change which you can experience right now.
So yeah, earlier like you were mentioning that you graduated in 2019 and then you had a lot of time to ponder upon, join different courses and align yourself towards a branch that had your total streamlined vision. So what would you advise the students to, how do they follow up? Like once gate is one thing that you achieve, but it's the mean to achieve a certain sense after what you're doing further ahead. So how do you channelize all that?
Okay. So firstly be clear with what you want to do. Like there are a lot of things you can do, but if you're clear, like you want to go, like I'm clear I want to do in sustainability. So find professors, like if you want to do it after master. So find professors who work with that or who have been experienced in that. Or there are so many firms or so many things, like so many architects who practice particular stuff. So go and train or learn with them. See, like main thing, you study in theory, everything is in, but you don't know what exactly the practical is unless and until you work with it. You don't know. So unless, like there are so many now, if you see, even if you go in terms of energy efficiency, there are so many softwares in coming year also, like the BIM and everything. They are going to help you introduce. I don't say vernacular, like energy efficient building has to be a mud building or a bamboo building. It can be a concrete one also. But then the energy which we are using, it has to come down. That has to be a thing.
So in that sense, I think with BIM that you mentioned, with the advent of artificial intelligence also, there's a lot of scope for architects, other than what's contradictory to the thinking that the number of people will reduce. But as in when you're saying that you require more trained people to be equipped with all of that. So where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
For now, I am just saying, like I am hoping that I can bring a change, and hopefully, let's see, I also construct or build or help something teaching wise.
It's an interesting field because not too many of our students who are pursuing the gate are necessarily looking at this as the option. So I think that itself is brilliant that we are speaking to someone who has a very clear focus. Of course, the advantage is that she has had some work experience around that, she has a good amount of knowledge around that, and therefore gate is a medium for her to achieve what she wants to achieve in terms of the education that she is required, which is going to help facilitate her future career. So I think that's an important takeaway for us. What is the advice that you would give to people? So you have about 3 years of work experience. Most of our students, many of them are in their college while they give the gate examination. Maybe a few of them have work experience of 6 months, 1 year. So they get out of college and they give the gate after 6 months of preparation. But you are here, and I've had a couple of other students as well, like our All India Rank 2 last year, Viren. He also had about 3 years of work experience before he went and answered the gate. So, do you think that having work experience is a advantage or a disadvantage in any way as far as preparation for gate is concerned or taking the paper?
Not for gate, but for your masters, yes. At least like after giving gate, you need to know like what are you getting in. It shouldn't be like after giving your architecture you're confused and you're preparing for your masters. Again after masters you're blank. That shouldn't be the case. You need to know what you want to do. Be a little like talk to people, have a little knowledge or area. But doing gate, one thing will happen, you will have your knowledge clear. Like it helps you know a lot of things which you don't study in architecture.
I think that is a very important takeaway.
Yes.
Any competitive examination, gate definitely included, it gives just preparation for it. Forget what you achieve in gate, but if you're seriously prepared for an examination like gate, you get to learn so much. And although everything seems to be from your architectural curriculum, but maybe you did not view it as seriously, maybe you did not dive into it as much as you would have required it. Maybe you have learned something in the first couple of semesters, they were not that important, but when you're preparing for it 3, 4, 5 years down the line, then you begin to appreciate that subject a lot more.
Because in college time we design like for doing our projects only. We don't put a lot of attention on our theory parts or the theory papers or something. Like for now, the history part which is being there, like the Renaissance period, if you talk of prehistoric period, that are in first year, first sem, second sem. By the time you come to fifth year, you don't know anything. Like you don't remember such detail or something. But while preparing for gate and everything, again everything goes revision. That time you understand it more better. Because you know, like you've seen those buildings in 5 years, you learn to observe things. You know how the details are, how everything is. So your knowledge increases. So that's there.
Great. So that's one advice that through Bhairavi I would share with students, that whether you want to do your MArch or not, whether you want to do your M-Plan or you're wanting to get a job in a PSU or not, irrespective, you should prepare for the gate examination. In fact, I would say whether you want to give the gate examination or not, but you should still seriously prepare for a competitive examination like gate, because it's the perfect exit examination where students pan India are taking the same examination. You get to know where you stand if you have done some serious preparation.
Yes.
So it helps you a lot. Great. Any pieces of advice to career avenues? You were mentioning something about some quizzes, which is a very useful suggestion for us. So let's hear it from her mouth, and then let's see what is it that we can do with it. Yeah.
So make sure you do a daily quiz. Like include 20 questions from your previous year papers, then 5 or 10 from your aptitude. Then have 10 numericals which are new, not from your gate papers, because gate papers you read only. But theory you can take gate papers, but numericals and aptitude, have that daily something new, because those are the areas where you can score, like easy scoring. The concepts are very same, they don't keep changing. Theory is very unpredictable. But like I would suggest, give your time for aptitude, don't just take it casually. And numericals, like, you think numericals are difficult, but they aren't. Like once if you put your attention, like if you focus, like there are 1-2 topics you can skip from numericals also, but rest you can score.
So on your advice, I'll definitely take it forward that this year's students are going to find a lot more quizzes than our normal section test, because this is not only feedback from you, Bhairavi. A couple of other students have also mentioned that they have done it on their own, but I think it's a good takeaway for us as well. So I'll take it forward from there. Any other pieces of advice from faculty and from the student?
Be consistent with your preparation, at least for last like 2-3 months. From October, November, even if you start, you can do it. Just be consistent, like give proper time for your preparation. Then the formulas and everything, just go through it daily. That helps. Solve all the previous year question papers. That is a major thing. Like, if you are thorough with your previous year, you can qualify gate like easily, very easily. So that
Goes without saying, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, it is all about solving questions. The same questions will not come, but as far as numericals are concerned, the same concepts are getting repeated, and as far as the rest of the questions, the theory-based questions are concerned, it is not only about knowing the answer to a particular question, but doing research around the question, doing research around all the answer options what is there.
Yes.
And that's what makes the entire paper interesting.
Practice basically.
Right. So that's what is required. Right. So anything that you would like to add?
Yeah, I think what I have observed with Bhairavi and Kamsa and me, all of us, we were having a discussion, and what was really interesting in all our conversation was the consistency and the sincerity with which she was approaching all her GATE examination, mock test series, and regarding the content also. So to help approach the curriculum with an objective perspective from the point of view of it being appearing in the GATE examination, and also talking about, she was really interested in environmental sustainability and all those allied fields, and it helped a lot. So she was not really sure when she was pursuing some courses online that will come in the GATE exam, but also that helps. So follow your passion, follow all the topics which you're really interested in, and the rest will follow with the practice session, mock test, and your online classes. So
I think that's something that we should add, that Bhairavi has been doing a lot of courses which interested her from anywhere, everywhere. So it could be an NPTEL course or it could be something else, etc. So find time to build your knowledge. It is not for a specific examination, it is out of interest, and when you do that, you are being academically sincere, and you are also keeping your mind inquisitive, and your mind will absorb at this moment. And when you're learning something, how will that come to your aid at some point of time? Maybe in an examination like GATE, maybe in your work, maybe in your life. You're always going to find opportunities to use what you have been learning. So there should never be any stop to learning, and if you can create channels for you to keep learning, then nothing better than that.
Because when you read somewhere, it comes, like you remember it when it is there. Like something you've read it once. When you're giving your exam, and after completing the exam, like the 3-hour test, you still have some time, because you get sufficient enough time for, at least for architecture course, the time is never constrained. So that time it helps. Like there were so many questions like MSQ and everything. Sometimes in those there are no negative marking, so sometimes you can take chances.
Correct. So I think it's been my pleasure to have Bhairavi around and Usma ma'am around to interview us. Not too many times that we get to meet the students in our office, because our students are pan-India, and therefore it is with special love and admiration for the effort that she has put in that I would like to congratulate her, and also thank you, Usma ma'am, for being a part of this.
opportunity.
Awesome job done. Bye-bye. Thank you.